In Zen Buddhism, silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is not the absence of sound, but the presence of awareness. A Zen master once said, "When the mouth is closed, the heart begins to speak." Think about it. The modern world is filled with noise, endless chatter, social media, arguments, and distractions. We are trained to respond, to react, to constantly express our thoughts. But Buddhism teaches that some truths should never be wasted in noise. Not every feeling needs to be explained, not every opinion needs to be shouted, and not every answer needs to be spoken. In silence there is power. Why? Because silence creates space. Imagine a cup. If it is always full of water, you cannot pour anything new into it. But when it is emptied, it can be filled again. The mind is the same. If you are always talking, always thinking, always reacting, there is no space for wisdom to enter. Silence empties the cup so that truth can pour in. A Zen monk once sat for days in front of his master without saying a word. Finally, the master asked, "What do you seek?" The monk replied, "I seek enlightenment." The master smiled and said, "Then be silent, for enlightenment is not found in words, but in stillness." This is why silence is a secret worth keeping. The world may tempt you to explain yourself, to defend your choices, to prove your worth. But Buddhism reminds us, you do not need to prove yourself to anyone. A flower does not explain its beauty, it simply blooms. A mountain does not announce its strength, it simply stands. In silence, you begin to embody truth rather than just talk about it. Practicing silence also gives us mastery over anger. When insulted, most people respond immediately with harsh words. But silence is stronger than anger. By remaining calm and quiet, you protect your energy and reveal inner strength. People cannot fight silence. It disarms them. In meditation, silence deepens further. It is not just the absence of talking, but the quieting of the mind. Thoughts will still come, but through practice you learn not to chase them. Silence becomes the teacher. In those quiet moments, answers that you could not find in books or conversations suddenly appear from within. So the Buddhist teaching is clear. Silence is sacred. Keep it as a treasure. Do not waste your energy explaining to those who do not listen. Do not reveal everything about your journey. Keep certain things in your heart where they grow like seeds. Remember this, when the mind is silent, the soul speaks. When the tongue rests, wisdom rises. Silence is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength. Cherry blossom in Buddhism. Compassion is not about words, it is about action. Many people speak of kindness, yet their hearts remain untouched. True compassion is quiet, humble, and often invisible to the world. A Zen story tells of a monk who carried an old woman across a river. She was heavy and the current was strong. After reaching the other side, the monk placed her down and walked away silently. Hours later, another monk asked him, "Why did you burden yourself with her weight?" The monk replied, "I set her down at the river bank. Why are you still carrying her in your mind?" This story reveals a truth. Compassion is about doing what is needed in the moment without attachment, without ego. The monk did not help her for praise. He did not expect thanks. He simply acted from the heart. Buddhist compassion is powerful because it is hidden. When you help without speaking, when you give without announcing, when you love without demanding, your action becomes pure. The world often encourages us to show off our kindness, to post it, to prove it, to record it. But Buddhism urges us, let your compassion be silent like the roots of a tree. You do not see them, yet they hold the whole tree in strength. True compassion also extends beyond people. It includes animals, nature, even your own thoughts. When you treat all life with respect, you create harmony. A compassionate word can heal a wounded heart, but a compassionate action can save a life. Think of the Buddha's teaching, hatred never ceases by hatred, but by love alone is healed. This is not just poetry, it is a practice. When someone wrongs you, the easiest reaction is anger, but the Buddhist path says, respond with compassion. Not for their sake only, but for your own peace. Compassion also means forgiving yourself. Many people are harsh to themselves, carrying guilt and regret. Yet Buddhism teaches, you cannot give love to the world if you do not first give it to yourself. Self-compassion is not selfish, it is necessary. So, let compassion be your secret. Do not announce every good deed. Do not wait for applause. Help quietly, love gently, forgive fully. Let your compassion move like water, soft, yet powerful enough to carve mountains. The teaching is simple. Compassion that is hidden is the most powerful. One of the deepest teachings of Buddhism is the art of letting go. Attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to people, possessions, or outcomes, we set ourselves up for pain. A monk once held tightly to a rope tied to a burning lantern. The fire climbed down, burning his hand, yet he would not release it. His master shouted, "Let go, or you will destroy yourself." Finally, in agony, the monk released it. Only then did he realize the pain had been caused not by the flame, but by his refusal to let go. Life works the same way. We suffer not because things end, but because we refuse to accept their ending. Relationships change, possessions break, dreams shift, youth fades. This is the nature of existence. The Buddha called this impermanence. Nothing lasts forever, and freedom comes when we embrace that truth. Letting go does not mean you stop loving or caring. It means you love without clinging, like holding a bird in your hand, too tight and you harm it, too loose and it flies away. Balance is the key. In Buddhism, attachment is compared to carrying heavy rocks in a backpack. Each desire, each grudge, each fear adds more weight. Letting go is simply removing those rocks one by one. Suddenly you feel light. Suddenly you can walk freely. Most people cling because they fear emptiness, but Zen teaches that emptiness is not nothingness, it is space for new growth. When you let go of anger, peace enters. When you let go of greed, contentment enters. When you let go of ego, wisdom enters. So let this be your secret. Learn the art of letting go. Release what no longer serves you. Do not fear loss, for loss is the path to freedom. As the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. In Buddhism, the mind is compared to a restless monkey, always jumping from branch to branch, never still, never satisfied. One moment it is in the past, replaying regrets. The next moment it is in the future, imagining fears. Rarely is it calm in the present. This restless nature of the mind is why discipline becomes a sacred teaching. A Zen master once told his students, "You can live in a palace or in a cave, but if your mind is undisciplined, you will suffer in both." This is a reminder that our happiness does not depend on external comfort, but on the state of our mind. If your thoughts are wild and uncontrolled, even the most beautiful environment will feel like a prison. But if your mind is disciplined, even in hardship, you will find peace. To discipline the mind is not to fight it harshly, but to train it gently, the way one trains a young child. When the child wanders off, you take its hand and bring it back. In meditation, when the mind runs toward thoughts, desires, or anger, you do not punish it. You simply return it to the breath, to the present, over and over. Slowly, the mind learns to settle. Buddhism teaches that all actions begin in thought. A cruel action begins as a cruel thought. A compassionate deed begins as a compassionate thought. If you control the seed, you control the fruit. This is why a disciplined mind is considered more powerful than the sharpest sword. But discipline does not mean suppression. It does not mean forcing yourself never to think negative thoughts. That would be impossible. Instead, it means learning not to feed those thoughts. When anger arises, see it, breathe, and let it pass. When fear arises, acknowledge it without surrendering to it. Over time, the thoughts lose their grip on you. There is a Zen saying, "The waves will never stop, but the ocean can be calm beneath them." The disciplined mind works the same way. Thoughts and emotions will still appear, but they will no longer control you. You remain steady beneath them, like the ocean beneath the waves. In daily life, discipline of the mind is practiced in small ways. When insulted, do you react with anger or pause with patience? When temptation calls, do you immediately give in or choose wisely? Every small choice builds discipline. The secret is that true freedom comes not from doing whatever the mind demands, but from mastering it. A disciplined mind does not make you rigid, it makes you free. You are no longer a servant to anger, fear, or desire. You become the master of your inner world, and once the mind is mastered, no storm in the outer world can disturb your peace. One of the most profound truths the Buddha revealed is the law of impermanence. Everything changes, nothing lasts, and all life is in constant motion. A Zen master once held up a delicate teacup before his students. He said to me, "This cup is already broken. Because I know this, I can fully enjoy it now. When it eventually breaks, I will not suffer, because I accepted its impermanence from the beginning." This simple lesson carries a deep wisdom. Most of our suffering comes not from change itself, but from our refusal to accept change. We want things to remain as they are: our youth, our relationships, our possessions, our comfort, even our very life. But nature whispers otherwise. Seasons shift, rivers flow, flowers bloom and fade, and people are born and die. Everything in existence carries the mark of impermanence. Instead of resisting this truth, Buddhism urges us to embrace it. When we see impermanence clearly, our perspective changes. Suddenly, life becomes more precious. We cherish people while they are here instead of regretting when they are gone. We appreciate each sunrise, knowing that no two are ever the same. We treasure the present moment because we understand it will never return. Impermanence is not a curse, it is a gift. Imagine if nothing ever changed. There would be no growth, no renewal, no second chances. A tree sheds its leaves so that new ones may grow. We let go of the past so that new experiences may blossom. Even suffering, no matter how deep, is impermanent. It too will pass. This truth offers great comfort. Meditating on impermanence softens the heart. When anger rises, we remember that emotions are temporary. When pain arrives, we remind ourselves that no feeling is permanent. When joy visits, we savor it fully. because we know it too is fleeting. In this way, impermanence teaches us to neither cling desperately to pleasure, nor run blindly from pain. We simply accept both as passing waves in the great ocean of life. The Buddha compared life to a candle flame. It glows brightly, yet it flickers and will one day go out. Knowing this does not make us despair, it makes us wise. For when we see the fragility of life, we learn to live with gratitude, kindness, and urgency. The secret is this: once you embrace impermanence, fear disappears. Change no longer threatens you, it liberates you. You stop clinging to what cannot stay, and you find peace in what is. When you understand impermanence deeply, every goodbye becomes gentler, every moment becomes more beautiful, and every heartbeat becomes a gift. In today's world, wealth is measured by numbers: the size of your house, the brand of your clothes, the amount in your bank account. But Buddhism teaches that true wealth is not outer, but inner. Outer wealth can be lost in a single moment, but inner wealth remains unshaken. A story is told of a rich man who once visited the Buddha. He bowed and asked, "I have everything I desire, yet I am not happy. Why?" The Buddha looked at him with compassion and replied, "Because you are rich outside but poor inside. The poorest man who has peace is richer than a king who has greed. Outer wealth is fragile. A storm can destroy property. A thief can steal possessions. The economy can collapse, and suddenly riches vanish. But inner wealth, peace of mind, kindness, wisdom, and contentment can never be stolen. In fact, the more you share them, the richer you become. Consider contentment. A poor man who is satisfied with his meal of rice is wealthier than a millionaire who constantly craves more. A monk with only a robe and a bowl may smile with joy, while a businessman with 10 houses lies awake at night, restless and anxious. Why? Because true wealth is measured not by what you own, but by how little you need. This does not mean Buddhism rejects money. Money itself is not evil, it is simply a tool, but attachment to money, the endless thirst for more, is a source of suffering. If wealth is used with compassion to help others, to create peace, to bring comfort, it can be noble. But if wealth is worshipped as the source of happiness, it becomes a prison. A Zen saying goes, "The richest man is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least." This truth invites us to turn inward. Do you have gratitude for what you already possess? Do you find joy in simple things, the sound of rain, the smile of a child, the warmth of sunlight? If so, you are already wealthy beyond measure. Inner wealth also means strength of character. A generous heart is richer than a vault of gold. A wise mind is more valuable than any jewel. A peaceful soul is more secure than any locked treasure chest. These treasures grow when you practice mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude. The secret, then, is to seek inner wealth first. Outer riches may come, or they may not, but if your heart is rich, no loss will destroy you. If your mind is content, no possession will enslave you. So remember this: the world may admire the wealthy for their possessions, but Buddhism admires the wealthy for their peace. Cultivate inner wealth, and you will always carry abundance, even with empty pocket. The final secret Buddhism urges you to keep is this: your path is yours alone. No master, no book, no teaching can walk it for you. A young monk once asked his Zen teacher, "Please give me the exact steps to enlightenment." The master smiled and said, "I can point to the mountain, but I cannot climb it for you. This is the essence of Buddhism. Teachings are like maps. They can guide, inspire, and show direction, but a map cannot make the journey for you. The walking, the struggle, the discovery must come from your own feet. Why is this so important? Because we often look outside ourselves for answers. We want someone else to reveal the secret, to give us the shortcut. But the Buddha himself reminded us, "Be a lamp unto yourself." That means do not depend fully on others for your awakening. Use the teachings as tools, but test them in your own life. Truth that is not experienced is only borrowed. Real wisdom must be lived. This is why some lessons remain secret, not because they are deliberately hidden, but because they cannot be explained in words. How can someone describe the taste of water? You must drink it yourself. In the same way, meditation, mindfulness, compassion, these must be practiced and experienced. No explanation, however beautiful, can replace direct experience. The secret path is also personal because no two lives are the same. One person may find awakening in silence and meditation. Another may find it in serving others. Another may find it through facing hardship with patience. Your journey will not look exactly like anyone else's, and that is how it should be. Comparing yourself to others only creates confusion. Trust your own path, but personal does not mean isolated. While you walk your own road, the footsteps of others can still inspire you. The Buddha walked his path, and his example lights the way. Zen masters, monks, teachers, they shine like stars in the night sky, guiding travelers. But remember, stars only point the way. You must still walk. Keeping this secret means honoring the sacredness of your journey. Not every insight needs to be shared. Some realizations are too deep to put into words. Some transformations can only be known in silence. Protect them, nurture them, and let them grow within you like seeds. So the teaching is clear. The path is yours, and yours alone. Do not be afraid to walk it. Do not wait for permission. Do not doubt because your road looks different from another's. The ultimate destination is the same: peace, compassion, freedom, but the way there is uniquely yours. And when you finally arrive, you will realize the greatest secret of all. The path was never outside you. It was within you from the very beginning.